Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Taurus. There's my Taurus painting for the month of March 2025. Before we get into that, I'd like to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. And for my tried and true who have been with me for years now. It has been quite a journey, quite a road. And let me tell you, the road is not going to get any less exciting. And for the members, the new members to my channel, thank you for your support. I have resisted having a membership. And then because of the responsibility, and then I realized I'm doing it anyway, so I'm giving you the opportunity. If you want to support me that way, you can. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And for the members, we will be having a live where you can ask me questions that I'm going to be setting up shortly. And then by the time you see this video, there'll at least be 1 or 2 new videos for you. Not old stuff that was that I had done a couple of years ago, but new stuff, new information, and I think it's going to be fun. A fun time will be had by all. Okay, so before we get into the specific astrology for Taurus, I do want to point out some of the vibrations that we're working with this month. We're in the 3rd month of the year, and the number 3 in the tarot is the Empress card. Now we see the Empress card with a shield here, with the symbol or the sigil for Venus. In fact, point of fact, on the 1st day of March, Venus stations retrograde in the sign of Aries, 11 of Aries, I believe. And she retrogrades all the way back into Pisces, continues to retrograde until next month, where she turns around and then comes back through. Now, when Venus does that, when Venus has her retrograde cycles, she does actually have a shift from either morning star to evening star, evening star to morning star. This is a shift from evening star, which she is in February, into the morning star, which I don't believe you'll actually see her until April as morning. Let me see. No, I'm not. Am I correct? You will see. I think you'll see her in it. Well, it doesn't matter. She's changing from evening star to morning star, which makes her a little bit more aggressive. Actually, a little bit more like Venus and Taurus, which will fight for what she loves and what she values. Okay, so your ruling planet is very active. Now, it is going backwards this month, so you might feel like you're regressing, but it's like when you take a running start, sometimes you have to go all the way back before you can jump over the chasm. So that is coming. The universal year vibration for 2025 is a 9. That's the Hermit card. You're going to see this card every month. 9 is about healing. It's about forgiveness. It's about separating the wheat from the chaff. It's about extracting meaning. It's also about sharing your knowledge or perhaps learning something new. This is the light that he shines is the light of his wisdom, and it is hard-fought wisdom. So all you wise folk out there, get your wisdom papers together, because people are going to need our help. If you take these 2 vibrations and add them up, we get a 3rd vibration, which is the vibration for the month and the year, and that's the Hanged Man. Now, this is a Neptune card, and the interesting thing about Neptune is at the end of the month, Neptune ingresses into Aries. Now, Neptune hasn't been there for over 150 years, so it's a whole new thing. You know, Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011, and a lot has happened since 2011. So we can imagine when Neptune is in Aries, that we can expect some new things, and it's going to be in Aries for a bit. Then it's going to back up again and go back into Pisces and finish off. But by the beginning of next year, it's done with Pisces. After 14 years of being in Pisces, it's fully in Aries. And actually, when it moves into Aries, shortly thereafter, it makes a conjunction to Saturn in the 1st degree of Aries, which is a whole new consciousness. So that is going to be very exciting. It's not too far off. It's actually about a year away. So we have a lot of things to go through between now and then. And we'll see what the cards say about that. But let's jump into the astrology. Alrighty. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to start big here. All right, great. So we have Taurus, fixed earth. Your mantra, I have. And your ruler, Venus, right? Here's Venus in Aries, just to remind you that if it's red, it's fire. If it's blue, it's water. If it's yellow, it's air. And if it's green, it's earth. And we can see that there's a little bit of earth. Whoops, sorry, guys. I don't know how that happened. When I want it to move, it doesn't move. I didn't touch it and it moved. Okay. Uh, it it starts in Aries. It goes retrograde. It retrogrades back into Pisces. Um, and so this is what Venus is doing. Now, when it's in Aries, it's in your 12th house. Venus actually likes being in the 12th house, no matter what sign it's in. Um, and then it moves back into the 11th house. The 12th house is a bit of a mystery. It's a mystery. It's even a mystery to you. A lot of things that happen in the 12th house happen even past your conscious awareness. It isn't really until things move into that first house that you're like, oh, that's what that was about, kind of energy. Um, we also have Mercury here starting in Pisces. Shortly after the beginning of the year, excuse me, the beginning of the month, it moves into Aries. On the 15th, it turns retrograde. And then by the end of the month, at the 27th, I believe, it moves back into Pisces. As it moves from Pisces to Aries, it conjoins Neptune. And as it moves from Aries to Pisces, it conjoins Neptune. So Mercury is conjoining Neptune twice at the 30th degree of Pisces. And then the next day, which is the 30th, which is the second to the last day of the month, uh, Neptune moves into Aries. So there is a communication, right? Mercury is our ability to communicate. Neptune is cosmic consciousness, it's divinity. And so these conjunctions require us to look within for the answers. Now, we do have both Mercury and Venus retrograde, and when planets are retrograde, it's a more internal process. We do have eclipses because that's not enough to happen, all this stuff happening this month. We're also in eclipse season. The first eclipse that we have is a full moon lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Virgo. That's going to be opposite the sun at 24 degrees of Pisces. The day before that, Saturn and Pisces, Saturn and the sun come together in Pisces. That's a bit of a reality check. The next day, we have the full moon eclipse, which of course is everything changes, fast changing here. Um, and uh, and uh, and the interesting thing, just in general, just to like give you a sense of that, the full moon eclipse happens on the 14th of March. I'm not exactly sure here in the US, and I mention this because this is kind of about money, and Taurus is a money sign actually. Um, but we need to get a budget, some sort of budget for the country in March. The Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde and the eclipses. I don't know, but we can only expect the unexpected. I know Taurus likes to know that they have the money in the bank and they have their stuff around them and they're feeling secure. So this can be a challenging time for all of us, but especially for people who put a lot of credence in the physical, which is not which is not to say that that's inappropriate. Taurus is the energy of stability. It is the energy of stability. Of course, Uranus has been in your sign now for how long? About 6 years, 7 years going on, about 6.5 years. And it's still there. You still have Uranus in Taurus this month. It is going to actually move into Gemini for a little while later in the year, and then move back into Taurus to finish off. So there's all these planetary changes, especially the outer planets, where it's like they take a dip into the next sign, then they back into the sign that they've been in. In the case of Uranus, for 7 years, in the case of Neptune for 14 years, right? They finish things up and then they come forward. So this year, this nine vibration year really is a year of letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, healing, forgiving, right? And we have the nodes now, with the North Node here in Pisces, asking us to heal, um, forgive, and reimagine. Whereas the South Node in Virgo is asking us to let go of our idea. Virgo is mental energy of what would be the perfect solution or the perfect way for it to happen. We have to let go of control through this period. And even if we don't let go of control, it'll be ripped out of our hands anyway. So don't don't bother with that. You're like, I'm a Taurus. How can I not bother with that? I know, I know. I have my Venus in Taurus. It's not that simple. All right. Jupiter is now direct in Gemini still. Jupiter also changes signs this year, but it doesn't dip back into Gemini. It goes right into Cancer. I believe that's happening in July. And then Jupiter in Cancer is really quite lovely energy. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, actually. So it's a really nice energy for Jupiter. And boy, we're going to need it. This Jupiter in Gemini has been really hard because it expands the information. It expands the propaganda as well, because Jupiter in Gemini can be propaganda. It's like there's one side and then there's the other, and they're equally measured, but one side may not be true. So everything is sort of equally measured, but not everything is true. So there's that, but that will change and shift in the summer. So that is a change coming. Mars, the planet of action, has been retrograde, but it did go direct last month, the 23rd of February. It's still in your third house. Your neighborhood can still be a little bit spicy with all that energy, but at least things are moving forward now. So there is forward motion, and a lot of the frustration, the anger, the fear should, to a certain extent, dissipate or sort of move on, perhaps, maybe not dissipate, but move on. It's your choice whether you want to interact with the fear. I would suggest you don't, because it doesn't get you anyplace. It'll close you down more, and it might actually cause you to freeze. What is that? Freeze or flee, freeze or fight, right? Freeze, flee, or fight. It could cause you to freeze. Um, Pluto, the planet of change and transformation, is the only planet not changing signs this year, interestingly enough. Of course, it did its whole presto changeo over the last couple of years, going in and out from Aquarius to Capricorn. It's interesting because when it would move into Aquarius, we could feel like it's the Aquarian age. We could feel the promise, right? And then it moves back into Capricorn, and then we got to deal with that. And then it comes back, and then it goes back. And now we're in the Aquarian energy, right? And we're like, it's everything is happening all at once, all at the same time, in all directions. And to try to find your focus and your center is really difficult. So it's really going to be about focusing internally, because the external world is not going to reflect anything but chaos. And so you need to find the peace within. Okay. A Taurus in esoteric astrology is the light of the spirit within. That is the energy of Taurus. It's like the light of the divine found deep within the heart of matter. In a way, it's sort of like, right? The energy, the pent up energy of the bonds that hold things together. All right. Uh, the sun starts in your 11th house, moves into Aries, into that 12th house. That's a more introspective time. You might feel yourself at the beginning of the springtime when the sun moves into Aries, feeling a little bit more reserved and a little bit more wanting to sort of go within as opposed to being out in the world, which of course you will feel like doing when the sun is in your 11th house. And let's see, Saturn is still in the 11th house, moving through. It's going to stay in Pisces this month. Saturn also moves into Aries for a little bit and then moves back into Pisces. So that's something to look forward to. Um, the new moon solar eclipse, which happens on the 29th in your 12th house. This would be a good time to take steps to open up to the other side, to your psychic senses, right? To be aware of that. Powerful time. And eclipses, along with everything else that's happening this month, does create a lot of change. Does create a lot of change. We do have the full moon in Virgo. I don't know if I mentioned this. I do these for each sign, so I may have mentioned it in a different sign, or I may have mentioned it in this one. It'll, after a while, it all sort of goes together. But the full moon brings awareness. The full moon is early. The full moon is happening on the 14th, the day before Mercury goes retrograde, incidentally. And the full moon's in Virgo, which is a Mercury ruled sign. But the day before, Saturn conjoins the sun in Pisces. So we have Saturn on the sun, we have the full moon in Virgo, and then the ruler of Virgo is going retrograde the next day. So a lot of the energy of March is internal. Internal. Spend your time on the inside of you. You can go out, you can do that stuff, but your attention needs to be in your life, in the world you want to see, and the steps you're going to take to get there. It's really about you becoming the author of your own life, the author of your own life. Both the sun, the sun conjoins Venus and the sun conjoins Mercury. Both of those planets will be retrograde when that happens. The answers lie within. Everything about this month says the answers lie within. And so that's what I would say to you. All right, let's go to the tarot cards. Oh, yeah, here we go. And I have my AstroMatrix deck, which is one of my favorites to use of late. I love the colors. I even love I even love some of the people in the deck. Tesla's in here. Kali. Yippee. I think oh, who else is in here? Shiva, I think. Shiva. Oh, dear me. All right. I'm struggling. I'm going to give this a good shuffle. So we'll see, what does Taurus need to know in the month of March? What is the energy we need in the month of March? All right. We start with dun, 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 work. This is good. You like this. The Eight of Pentacles. This is an apprenticeship card. So this is about, doing your work, doing what's right in front of you. And no matter how many times you have to do it, just do it, because every time you do it, it's going to bring uh, more artistry to your life, and you're going to get better. You're going to get better. So just apply yourself. That's a Virgo card. So, and it's also a card about being crafty. Virgo, this is a Gemini Virgo card. And so very, very crafty energy. Let's see what's crossing that. New beginnings. New beginnings. The pull of the new beginning. So new opportunities, you may be looking for new opportunities. You might be like, when's this opportunity going to come? Have patience. The opportunities will come. Underneath it, you're waiting for good news. The Page of Cups. You want to hear some good news. You're tired of all the bad news. I want to hear some good news. In the past, we have the Eight of Wands. So a lot of information came in, maybe illuminated you to certain things that you weren't aware of before. It is a little bit of a struggle to get all that energy, to get all that information and put it in its rightful place in your mind. In the sky, okay, uh, we have the sharing of resources. If you're worried about something, I know there's a lot of talk about getting rid of Medicaid and this and that, and a lot of elderly people depend on that. And, they're trying to, in America anyway, they're trying to, I guess, give the rich more tax breaks, which they don't really need. I don't know why they feel they need them. They have enough. They have more than enough, but this is the story, I guess, we're hearing. Spirit wants you to know that you will be provided for, because I know that's a big fear. It's a big fear for all of us, but you will be provided for. You need to stand your ground. You need to protect yourself and your resources and the things that are important to you. So this is a stand your ground. Stay true to your beliefs. Don't let what you see on the outside world dissuade you from those things, you don't want to just say, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to get pooped on anyway, right? Like, that's not the attitude you need. You need to be like, I know what's right and I'm standing up for it. How it's seen from the outside: strength. You're strong. People see your strength. They feel your strength. You are the most stable of the signs. So a lot of people depend on you for that sense of always being there. Hopes and fears. No. Domestic situation. The devil. This is getting caught up in fear. Okay. There may be some of that in your home. People in your home, you only have control over yourself. So there can be people, um, believing that there's no way out. This can also be addiction. So there can be some addiction at home. And that may be just an escapist, wanting to be a little escapist. So just watch for that. Watch for that. Watch for negative thinking. If the people around you are being negative, you need to move away from them. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to know it. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I can't entertain that right now. And move away from it and go do your craft. Go knit. Hopes and fears, awakening. You're hoping that people wake up to what's going on. An outcome, yeah, something's coming to an end. I think this is the end of the old ways of thinking, old thought forms. But you can see in the background, the sun is rising. So this is the inevitable end before a new beginning. Let's see if we can pull more cards on that. We have the Knight of Swords. This can be a chaos agent. Let's see. And the Chariot. Things are going to move forward. So as soon as something is done, the next thing comes really quick. So you don't have to, like, it's done and you're sitting there and you're like, it's done, it's over. Oh, and sitting there, it's done, it's over. Like, how long do I have to sit here and say, no, it's like the taxi's coming. Get on the taxi. Whoop. And the taxi happens to be the Chariot. And this is your soul's work. You're being called to do your soul's work. Let's see what's underneath it. Tending to your garden, maybe a little pruning. What might be helpful here is, to make sure that you're not, um, paying for things you don't need or you don't use, stuff like that. You want to prune. And if somebody in your life is dragging you down financially or otherwise, it's time to cut bait, as they say. I think that's the expression. I'm not sure what they say. Then we have the Death card, which is transformation and change. And then we have, sorrow and pain. So it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy transformation, is not an easy thing. But the Three of Swords, even though it seems like a terrible, terrible card, on the other side of this is freedom. This sometimes you have to, you know, I somebody relatively famous said it, that there's going to have to be some pain, temporary pain, and I agree with that, not because I agree with that person, but I agree with that because I think that's the way we're going. The more we try to hang on to what was, I think the more pain we're going to experience. It doesn't mean that we can't have what we had, but it's going to be different. It's going to be different. You don't want to lose what you know to be true. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're just throwing out the stinky ass bathwater. All right. One more. Animal spirit card for Taurus. This will be interesting to see what animal comes up for Taurus. So this is Spirit Animal Spirit Oracle, the Spirit Animal Oracle, sorry, by Colette Baron Reed. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel spirit. Isn't squirrel a weird name? I mean, that is a weird word, squirrel. Squirrel. I have to look that up. I mean, I know what a squirrel is, but the etymology of the word squirrel. All right. I love etymology. Back in the day, you'd have to get an etymology dictionary, but now you just have to Google it, which I love. I love Googling things. Okay, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself for sure. You have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all your hard work. See, I told you you're going to be fine. Squirrel spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have, how much potential you have, exclamation point. Believe in yourself, for spirit believes in you and wants you to know that you have enough and you are enough. Your protection energy for this card, the unpredictability of life can shake your confidence in yourself and your potential for handling the challenges that come your way. Does the thought of not having enough or being enough make you squirrely? Have you forgotten all your strengths, wisdom, and resources? You have it. You have it. You can do it. You have everything. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget what you know. Don't forget that spirit has our back. All right, guys, you take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. It's kind of crazy. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself and the ones you love, and leave the rest to spirit. Much love, everyone. Namaste.